Today on the Rudebuoyz, we're going to talk about getting old. What it is, what it means, physical, mental, and all that kind of stuff. I just had a birthday, and I'm on the latter half of the baby boomers. So that's what we're going to be talking about coming up. Okay, man, another cold day.
Yes.
I'm not enjoying Excuse me. Excuse me.
We can edit that one.
But
thank goodness we are not on our normal radio show right now.
But it just happened all of a sudden. Boom. Luckily, I got my heater, though. So
well, I mean, we kind of had this. Remember, we did have that nasty little cold snap, too, in November.
Yeah, that happened so quick, though. It was boom, boom, and it was gone.
Yeah.
This one just like snuck in and just like, oh, you know,
haven't
movies.
But haven't you noticed too that especially around here, for when it finally, like when the temperature drops far enough to where it can snow, it waits to do that until after all the rain and everything is pushed through. Like, man.
But yeah,
it warms up to about 60 degrees, and it rains and rains and rains and rains, and then drops down to around 40. It's still raining. Once it gets into the 30s and 20s, when it could snow, oh, it's done.
Yeah.
As I just smacked my microphone.
Yeah. Getting old.
Yep. I'm sorry, folks. This microphone's got a bad spring in it.
Yeah. They say it's a state of mind. I don't know, man. And of course, getting older and being single is a whole different story.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole different story. You know, let's talk about being single.
Okay.
And getting older.
Okay.
All right. Now, where I live, and I ain't going to name names, but where I live, you know, we have like older women complaining about older men dating younger women.
Mm-hmm.
But these older women are jacked up. They gossip incessantly.
Mm-hmm.
They try to tell everybody else how to live with their relationship when their relationships ain't jack.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They don't take care of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate them coming down on them, but you know, they complain about the younger generation when they're the ones that teach the younger generation how to be, you know, to put up with really bad, awful men.
I worked with a woman one time who, this would have been at least 10 or 11 years ago that I worked with her, and at that time I want to say she was probably mid to late 40s, and I remember she was telling me that I might as well join the priesthood, because as picky as I was never going to date anybody again. And I said, you know, hey, I'm sorry that you weren't as picky on your first marriage as what I am, because she would, at the time, she was dating a good guy. Met him, he helped me out a couple of times with some things with my car as well, great guy. But the first guy that she married, miserable, exactly what you're talking about, you know, them putting up with awful men.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy was absolutely miserable. I think the only thing he probably didn't do was beat her. I don't think he did that. But as far as the way he treated her, anything else, I mean, I heard it all, and I'm going, you actually married this dude?
Could you tell?
Yeah. And then she's telling me that, well, you're way too picky. I'm like, you know, hey, maybe if you'd have been pickier, you wouldn't have ended up with that dude in the first place.
You know what I mean? And the thing about it is that poor nice guy, I wonder what he's putting up with. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because she might be all cool and stuff when you're wrong, but when she with him.
Yeah, I don't know.
And listen, you know, and the thing
bless
about
his heart. I'm sorry, I had to say it.
You talk to young girls and they say they only like arseholes. And then you look at the parents, though. But you look at the parents and see who the parents choose.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? Sometimes, too, when you see a girl that they only seem to like essentially garbage, you look at who their parents are and you go, I don't understand where this came from. Yeah. Your parents are both good people. How in the hell did this come about?
But you see, that there is far and few between.
Not in my experience, unfortunately.
No. Oh, well, I'm dealing with the locals.
I'm around a bunch now. For some of them, it may change once they get out of college. I don't know.
It does because
Yeah,
we see a lot of them got married and they're chilling.
But
out
while
and
they're in
good.
college,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
they want to be around nothing but guys who are just total, absolute. I'm sorry, losers. I
Yeah.
mean, the way that they
Yeah.
treat them and everything, but it's all that they're attracted to. And then you meet their parents and you go, what? Like, your dad is a great guy. I'm like, your mom is awesome. Like, where in the hell did this come from? I don't know. But then again, if it's because whoever they hang around with, if you just get kind of used to, well, this is what I'm around all the time. You remember when you and I talked to, not going to say her name and not going to even say what somebody gave her as a nickname either, but a former softball player. And I remember you had asked her, like, why do you all only date athletes? And she said, well, that's all that we're around. And I looked at her and I said, you can't tell me that every class you're in is nothing but athletes. And she goes, well, no, it's not. And I go, well, there you go then. So don't give me that crap.
Yeah.
You know? Well, and not just athletes, because, look, there are good guys out there who are athletes. But it seemed like they couldn't find them. They wanted to go through every loser they could find to try and see if they could find the one good one. When you could probably tell them right off the bat, don't date that one, don't date that one, don't date that one. Hell, sometimes the athletic trainers even try to say, don't date that one and don't date that one, and they do.
The thing about it, though, is that the nice guys on the team probably don't get the minutes because they're not like,
you know what? And some of them do. Some of them do get the
Yeah.
minutes, and they do get the time on the field.
Minuscule.
No, I've actually known some who have, but yet the girl still goes, you over there who I just saw slap another girl.
Yeah.
You and I should go out sometime.
Yeah, let me choke a girl in the middle of the day out there.
Yeah, like,
Oh, he's sexy.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
So
you know,
in the meantime, those of us who get older and watch this, we just go, what the hell?
But I guess from where I'm from, I mean, you deal with college kids mainly. I deal with
Yeah.
the parents are jacked up, especially me.
That was a good face you made too.
Yeah, I'm talking like, oh, okay. My dad was an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I decided, you know what? This is not the way I want to be.
Every once in a while, somebody who's bad can actually be a good role model if you take it the right way.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And that's the thing, you know? And then these older women are like, well, why you all dating those younger girls? Because, I mean, they don't come with all that baggage. They get all upset. That is wrong. Oh, but you see, you guys marry idiots and put up with it for 40, 50 years. And expect us to put up with you for the next 10 years of our life and be miserable.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Listening to you do nothing but complain about the last idiots that you've dated. And it's like, well, you're not with them anymore. You're with me now. Stop it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they all are like that, but dude, my experience, man, is like, what is wrong with y'all?
Mm-hmm.
And then they come to them, well, I need a nice guy. No, and then you try to make me miserable.
Yeah.
No! That's why I've been single since 1999.
Some former softball coaches tried to get me to date somebody who was working with the team, who I was actually older than, but going to the misery side, she was angry about 95% of the day. She hated her job. She hated being with our team. And so I was like, I never see this girl happy, but yet they wanted me to date her. And I kept thinking to myself, well, I know it's just because they want me to try and make her easier to work with. And then lo and behold, they actually admitted that to me one time. Well, we just thought it would make her easier to deal with. Oh, sure, make me miserable. To then, while I'm in a state of shock going, oh, my God, I wasn't being paranoid. I was right. Then the guy who was now our athletic trainer looked at the coach and said, what do you think that would have made him to deal with? And she goes, oh, well, I never thought about that. And I said, well, no, of course you didn't.
See, here's the thing.
Because I'm the nice guy. I can just put up with that and still be good.
Obviously, her parents are boomers. I wonder what they like.
The coach's parents?
No.
Oh, I was going to say, they're great people. I've met them.
Yeah, I'm talking about the girl.
Oh, the girl? I don't know. I never met
her
parents.
I know I keep coming back to that, but I'm telling you, I'm a boomer, but my generation suck. I know everybody think that that's one of the best generations. No, everything that we have going wrong right now is them. I'm sorry, but they're still in charge. They're still in the White House. They're still in Congress. And they got stuff, and they're still in the Senate. They got stuff jacked up, and they refuse to relinquish and let the next generation start taking over because they think they're right.
Well, a line from TQ in one of his new songs on his album Revolution. He said, "Think about it. The people who are in power now will not be around for your future.
That's
so
what
why
I'm
should
saying.
they care about your
I
future?"
know. You see,
Yeah.
they just, but here's the thing. You see, the people who are in power now is the rich old people. They want to leave legacy for their kids, so they're exploiting everybody else's, sense of ideology and all of that in order to keep stuff the way for their kids because that's what worked for them to get rich.
Yeah.
That's what that is. And they feed this to the poor older people who think that's the way to go, and they've been pulling themselves up by the bootstraps. They're 60 years, and still them bootstraps, they're tight as hell, and no circulation to their foot.
Not
but
just tight as hell, they might be coming off by this point.
You know what I mean? And they still, this is the right way to do this. Listen, times are changing. I'm older, and it's changing. There's nothing I could do about it. All I could do is to try to help them be better human beings, not better political stuff or cultural. The traditions change, man. Nothing that's been that was 2,000 years ago when Jesus was walking the earth is the same now. Nothing. We have cell phones, for crying out loud. They didn't even know, man. You know, they had to
when I started here as a freshman, cell phones were barely a thing.
And not just technology. The way people look at the world and all that is changing. This whole warrior mentality stuff. You know what I mean? That stuff is kind of dying out a little bit. But these old people are like, oh, we got to be strong. Like Boris Johnson. Okay, no, in the British election, old fart. You know what I mean? I think he's a boomer. Or just outside the boomer. He might be the next generation, but his father.
He looks like Trump's long lost brother in that one photo.
But his father is just like him because I heard his father saying some dumb stuff like that. Okay, we have our Corbyn, and he's an older guy. He's kind of like me too. You know what I mean? Hey, things are changing. We got to, you know what I mean? This is the image. Boris Johnson have a picture of him with gloves on. The ape man. You know what I mean? And then you have the other guy who's talking about peace and helping the poor. And then, these idiots with the macho crap, these old men with the macho crap, look, I have no problem downstairs. Dude, who cares? You know what I mean? You could go to the bathroom and wee-wee. I don't care if you don't have a problem downstairs. Joe Biden is talking about he have hairy legs. Who cares? What does that make you, an ape? You know what I mean? Come on now. You old guys, you old people got to step down. This is what you all are talking about. While younger people don't have health care, and you're not doing a damn thing but accumulating your money.
I'm dying over here.
I'm serious. This is what them old people are talking about on the campaign trail.
Oh, man.
They're not even talking issues. They're talking about the hairy legs. Talking about at the pool, kids would come up and rub his head to watch his blonde hair. And he's talking about black kids, too. This person is at a pool with black kids talking about they come and rub his legs to see his blonde hair lay down, then pop right back up. Dude, you're running for president, you old geezer. Get out of there.
That just sounds wrong.
I mean, listen, Bonnie is old, too, but at least he's recognizing that things are changing.
Yeah.
But these old idiots, they just want to just control everything and maintain what they think is right. You know what I mean? I don't get it, dude. You gotta let go. Things gonna change. You can't keep it the same for years. If stuff stays the same for years, Rome would still be a superpower. The Ottoman Empire would still be superpowers. Stuff changed. It's not going to stay the same.
Egypt would still have the pharaohs.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Christianity would be just another religion, not as dominant as it is, because there'd be a million other ones there still as strong. things change.
Oh, my goodness.
Y'all can't stop it. And y'all going to die soon. Let the young people take over. And at least we might have some peace, because at least young people like to talk to each other.
Even if it's just through text or Snapchats
They're
with each
still
other.
talking. Even if it's rap music talking trash to them, they're still talking to each other. And all that macho
man.
stuff, that came from them old men.
Mm-hmm.
That's those young people didn't grow up and go, yeah, I want to dominate that woman. You taught them that.
There's another line from Big Stan, rapper with DMX, where he said, he watched his father beat on his mother his whole life. He said, so when I hit my baby mama, I thought it was all right.
Yeah.
And he said, if I would have woke up and they would have been gone, I would have known that all the hitting was wrong. And then he ends that by saying, talk to me. You know? But yeah, I mean,
and the thing about it is a lot of those the older folks are going, I don't know where they learned that from. What do you think you don't know where they learned that from?
Well, but that also goes to nothing's my fault.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man.
So I don't know where my kid learned to act like that, when you can easily look at the parent and see them acting like that.
And not just the parents, just the older people in charge.
Yeah.
Period. I mean, listen, I work in retail, and I see them boomers come in there, and they always talk about everybody else thinks they're entitled. Those people think they're so entitled to everything boomers do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, boomer come in, a register is shut down. Time for us to go home.
Mm-hmm.
Boomer goes to the register line and says, so who's going to take care of me? He said, well, it's the end of the shift. We going home. Boomer says, you could go to the self-checkout.
Mm-hmm.
Boomer says, I don't work here. I don't have to do that. And walks out.
It just leaves all their stuff there
in
the cart. Oh, yeah.
And number one.
For you all to clean up and put back.
And number one, Boomer, when you was younger, they had got me so angry I lost my train of thought. When you were younger, you had to do all that stuff yourself. You had to pump your own gas.
Mm-hmm.
You had to do all that stuff yourself. And now you want to act all... your boomers come in there, and it's these little, prissy women, boo, boo. You know what I mean? Help me to my car. There's nothing wrong with these people. Nothing.
Oh, man, we should have been videoing this one to go along with this.
Help to the car. And then they sit and close the door like you're a slave or something.
Yeah.
And that's the boomers. The young people don't do that. The young people don't park carts and just leave it there and say, well, that's your job to do. The young people push the carts into the thing. They don't just leave it laying there saying, well, that minimum wage punk, he could get it. That's his job. You know what I mean?
You know what my dad will do a lot of times is he will take a cart from outside.
Yeah.
And push it in.
Yeah.
And he always tells me, he goes, well, this is my chance to kind of give it a little test drive. He goes, if the wheels are bad, I'll push it back in by the carts inside there, leave it, and grab another one.
You know what I mean?
Makes me laugh. He'll grab one from outside and go, yep, I'm going to park this one. Wheels are awful. But he doesn't just leave it somewhere. He'll take it inside to where I guess if you want to call it the cart room, the cart bay, whatever it is, and he'll push it into there, and then he'll grab another one out from there. So he doesn't start to take it somewhere in the parking lot and go, oh, this is awful, and leave it. Yeah. You know how many times you can even you can drive into a parking lot at a grocery store, Walmart, Target, any place that has shopping carts, and you'll pull up and think, oh, here's an open parking spot. Oh, no, it's not. It's got 3 carts sitting there. Yeah. And not because it's and not because it's the cart corral. It's because people just left them there. Yeah. And because one got left there, somebody else goes, oh, that means I can leave my cart here too.
And the worst type of boomers is the upper middle class, the middle class boomers. They think they are the cheese. And you know who came up with it?
Because Reagan told them they were.
Boomers. Let me tell you. I'm one of y'all. Who came up with the phrase, the customer is always right? A boomer.
When I worked at Burger King, I hated that.
Yeah.
Hated that. I may have just been a high school kid, but you know how many times I was right about an order over them?
And who created the nuclear stuff? Boomer. You perfected it. Maybe you didn't create it.
Yeah, I was going to say, they definitely didn't create it. No.
You know what I mean? You perfected it. And who used it?
Well, who originally used it, definitely not boomers.
Yeah,
they were the parents of the boomers.
Yeah, but they've been using it. They use it physically. Boomers have been using it psychologically ever since.
That is true. That's why we had a Cold War last, what was that, like 30, 40 years?
All these years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who you think taught Kim Jong-un to be an idiot? A boomer! He wasn't a millennial.
No,
He wasn't a Generation X.
Yeah, he wasn't sitting there one day going, God, I'm so tired of millennials. I need to control everything.
You know? Come on. They learn that stuff from you. It's time to step aside. I'm a boomer. I know it's time to step aside. You know what I mean?
Well,
it's their world right now.
Well,
it's not ours.
Well, not even step aside, but maybe kind of look in the mirror and start to not just blame everything on everybody else, but as they say, change starts with the man in the mirror, right?
Yeah.
So, to look in the mirror and go, you know what? Me doing this, yeah, that is my fault. You know what? Doing it, yes, that is my fault.
Yeah.
And try to figure out how we've got to change this.
Yeah.
Because
they're doubling down.
Boomers can still do a whole hell of a lot of good while they're still around.
Yeah.
If they try to teach just being better.
The boomers forget. Well, the boomers kind of rebelled a little bit. So now they think, oh, yeah.
The 60s?
Yeah. We know it all, you know what I mean? Because we rebelled against, the generation before, my parents' generation, were compassionate. They wanted to help people. They genuinely wanted to do stuff. And then boomers come along and they protest wars. They did the LSD. They did the hippie stuff. And now they think they're the cheese.
The LSD is still affecting them, I guess, all these years later.
You see who are running for offices now? They look like they're delusional. They're having flashbacks of the LSD use.
Or they're still wearing those,
look at how many
those virtual reality glasses or something.
Look how many of them go senile. More so than the generation before. I mean, step aside. You could guide to teach them how to be better human beings, not this whole political stuff. And now everybody's you're talking about fake news, this, that, the other, and you're going off on all of that stuff. It's boomers are the ones that are telling the stories.
Isn't it funny how we went from getting older dating to this?
Well, it's still about getting older. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying how we went from the dating aspect to this.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But the dating stuff is just my little personal thing there. Yeah, listen. Nobody's going to tell me who to date. I'm sorry. As long as I'm not a pedophile, I won't see what y'all's problem on talking about. They get in your business. Oh, you shouldn't be doing that. This is the way to do this. If that stuff is the case, why your generation is so well divorced?
Yeah. I keep going back to the one, I know I've said this time and time again, when I was one time getting my hair cut and this woman's getting her hair done and she's talking about, her upcoming wedding and she looks like she's in her 40s and saying, well, this is going to be my, what were the numbers? Her 4th and his 5th marriage or something like that. I'm sitting there going, oh my God.
And it's not like the younger generation don't know how to stay together. No, a lot of the younger generation follow your formula, and then when they get this, oh Lord, you know what I mean? They follow the same freaking formula that you followed that didn't work for you.
Man, 9 combined marriages and 2 people who aren't 90 years old. In their 40s, man.
You see, back in the day, you could tell a woman to suck it up and deal with it.
I don't even think I've dated 9 girls in my life. 9 combined marriages?
They didn't even date.
I'm about to cuss.
They didn't even date. They just went straight to the church.
Oh my gosh!
You know what?
You're pretty. You know what? You're handsome.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. You're the cheerleader. I'm the football player. Woohoo! The culture says we belong.
Yeah. A week later, man, you really suck at this.
You know what I'm saying? They learned that stuff from you. You're the ones that had the big, massive rise in divorces.
Why do you think there's a whole lot of divorce lawyers? Because they can see where they can make a whole lot of money.
You know what I mean? Ooh. So now it's time. A
lot of money in marriage and divorce.
No, like I said, I'm growing older. That's why I'm taking a step back and starting to realize, okay, what have I done in my life to help create this situation and how I could fix it so the next generation could be okay. Doubling down on culture and tradition is not going to work. It's just not. Everything is changing. You know what I mean? That macho crap is out the window.
Well, think
The
about
alpha male is dying.
well, think about even just from a sports aspect, the whole tradition quote of hazing the freshmen, hazing the rookies, like doing all of these. It's one thing if you have them carry equipment.
Yeah.
It's another when you make them drink until they're going to pass
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
You know, or make them do something that's basically against the law.
Yeah.
And then go, well, we all did it. It's tradition.
We mean it's locker room talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the 50s, dude,
Like
when women didn't have
stuff
a voice.
That stuff is changing.
You know what I mean?
People are getting in trouble. They're getting arrested. They're getting kicked out of school for doing stuff like that. And for them to sit there and go, well, it's tradition, isn't working when they're sitting in a courtroom.
And the thing about it is when they say all this stuff, boomer women are like, well, we don't see the problem. Yeah, well, back then you had no say when somebody grabbed you. Now you do, you could say something.
Mm-hmm. And guess what? They get in trouble like they should.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm talking about the ones who grab your
Yeah.
and get in trouble
you
like they should.
understand what I'm saying? But no, you sitting there going, why are these young girls just complaining and complaining and complaining? Just because you were like...
Because it's not right.
You understand what I mean? Just because you're like, stop, you know, and it just keeps happening and you're not like decking the fool that's doing it, doesn't mean it's okay for somebody to do it. No, they're sensitive because they don't want people to grab their stuff. This is what you're telling the younger generation. It's all right. Deal with it. We had to put up with it. You're supposed to teach them, no, you're not. No, you don't have to put up with it.
And we know not all people are like that, saying put up with that. But unfortunately, a lot of times in our experience, who we've been around,
Yeah.
that's what we see.
You don't have to put up with that stuff. And I'm glad the younger generation is stepping up for this. And, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even have a daughter, but I would have been decking people who doing that to my daughter.
Man.
And I see guys on TV when they ask them about that in political rallies. One guy was like, he could grab any he wants, you know what I mean? Hell, I wish I was him. But hey, not my daughter, because his daughter is standing there. The boomer is saying that in front of his daughter.
You know, when the stuff started to come out about that doctor at Michigan State, Larry Nasser, well,
Yeah.
I use the term doctor loosely because when you're doing that kind of stuff, I'm sorry. But, you know, and you see the amount, like at the ESPYs, when they all went and stood up there on stage, and you see the amount of people, you just go, why would you try to cover this up?
Yeah.
And one of the administrators at Michigan State who got fired, who tried to cover all this up, was an older woman.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, why?
Yeah.
Like, this is being done to women. How could you... what?
And then they wonder why younger people are upset with you.
Yeah.
You know, you're letting them get raped. You're letting them get terrorized.
At least, thank goodness, with the judge in that case, who's just by looking at her judging, probably a boomer. You know, when that guy actually had the gall to have a written statement to say, I don't think I have the mental capacity to sit here and listen to all this testimony, she looked at him and said, if I have to listen to it, so do you.
Yeah.
You know, thank goodness there's at least that one right there.
There's boomers like me.
Yeah, because unfortunately you had all those other girls who tried to go to somebody that they thought they could trust and like,
Yeah.
man.
This is you see, I'm getting older. This is what's happening with me getting older. Apart from back, hip, knee. No, I'm telling you, dude, it's been a painful year, period.
You know what? Like, okay, I'm getting closer to 40. It doesn't really feel like it. I mean, now I think I've really come to the conclusion that it's because I don't have kids. Because everybody else that I'm seeing that's around my age or even a little bit younger who has kids, they'll look like they're about 10 years older than me now. I saw a guy at Walmart the other night that I remember from Gullickson and all that, who I know is younger than me, who's almost all gray. It looks like he's way older than I am. And then I see him go up to his wife and they've got a kid. And I'm like, whoa. And then an old buddy of mine from home who's 4 years younger than me, recently saw a photo of him. He's all gray.
I didn't start going all gray until like a couple of years ago.
Dude, I've got one little spot over here on the side of my head, and that's it. And I mean, it's a little spot. It might be like 5 or 6 hairs.
But it's because I don't think like the boomers, and the guys that you're talking about probably think like the boomers because.
Well,
the
there's
boomers
also a couple of girls too that we know.
Yeah.
But that may have been because of too much tanning too.
Yeah. Because you see, here's the thing. They were taught to do what the boomers were to do, and now, it's stressful for them because they realize everything that the boomers taught them that worked for the boomers' parents isn't working. Didn't work for the boomers. And it definitely ain't working for them.
I will say this.
It takes 2 generations to learn, I guess.
My sister and my brother-in-law don't look older than me. I feel like my sister, I don't know, maybe it's because it's still my sister, but she doesn't look like she's like 40th birthday is next year.
But check this out. Your brother is not actually the typical type of dude.
No, well, he's going a little, balder on top, but that's about it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, yeah, he definitely doesn't act like he's getting older. He acts like he's still 12 a lot of times. But
he's young at heart.
Yeah, so that way, but and then
and that's not an insult because I don't. Look at me. I mean, I don't act like one foot in the grave.
well, my sister too. A lot of times when I go home, and McCain and I'd be goofing off about something, she'd look at me and go, "Why is it every time you come home, the two of you instantly turn into 10 years old?" I'm like, "Hey, would you rather us hate each other or be goofy?" I mean, and they have 2 kids, but my sister doesn't look like she's about to hit 50. I mean, heck, I don't even think she looks like she's about to hit 40. But there are people I know who aren't even 35 yet who look like they're about to hit 50. I'm like, holy crap. But then again, I don't know if it's also because, at least my sister, their family, they like to jump off on little trips every once in a while. Heck, shortly after Christmas, they're going to go to the beach for a little bit. So they
Relax.
still, yeah, they still go do other things to kind of go,
See, and here's another thing about getting older.
Heck, they build a fire pit in the backyard,
Boomer mentality is still a little bit alive in me. And I'll tell you why. Back in the day, I mean, Joseph and Mary was a lot longer than Joseph. Oh, that's all right. Nobody, Bethlehem, here we come.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then they decide, oh, no, you can't date younger women. So all these years, I'm like, no, I can't do this. No, it's like they just keep coming in front of me. And I'm not talking about babies.
I was going to say, there's a little bit of a difference there because some of them try to say, oh, yeah, I can still date younger women. What's wrong with a 14-year-old when they're 55?
Yeah.
You, when you walked in here, you said, that's it, 25 and older. So 25 is not robbing the freaking cradle.
Yeah.
14 when they're waiting on the bus, not the city bus to go to work, when they're waiting on the bus to take them to their freshman year of high school is a little different.
18 is robbing the cradle.
Yeah.
21 is robbing the cradle.
So there's a little bit of a difference there.
That's what I said. I said they're not babies, but
yeah.
I mean, but the thing about it is, though, it's like.
But you definitely did. I mean, for a long time, I remember you even saying, it's like, man, she's not even 30 yet. I don't know if I can even talk to her. And of course, at the time for me, I'm not. I mean, that's somebody who's near my age. I'm like, well, hey, why can't somebody like that cross my path?
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, and the thing about it is like, people gonna talk. Oh, this is wrong. That is wrong.
Well, they're gonna talk anyway. You could date somebody who's 70 and they're gonna talk about it. You could date somebody your age and they're gonna talk about it.
I have a buddy that dating a younger person right now. And,
okay.
And that's when it hit me. You know what I mean? And I was saying for the longest time, I can't do it. Mm-hmm. But then I look at them and they're happy.
Yeah.
They're happy.
So there was one girl that I decided the age difference was too much. And no, she wasn't still in high school or anything like that. She was here at Marshall. She was about to graduate and all that. And to me, the age difference was a major factor because of her mentality.
Yeah.
She seemed even younger than what her age was.
Yeah.
By, like from the times that I talked to her and hang out with her for a little bit, it was like, God, it feels like I'm with a 13 and 14-year-old right now. I can't, no.
And they keep asking, well, he's so, and she's so. What do they have in common? Happiness.
There you go.
That's what they have in common.
They're
happy.
Go.
You understand?
What a word. Oh, my God. What a concept.
I'm not out here trying to say goat myself into, oh yeah, no. I'm just saying the spectrum is large.
Larger, not quite as large as some of those.
I'm no Epstein or whatever the fella's name is. What's his name?
What's that one from Alabama?
Jones?
I don't know, the one that was trying to run for office and all that, and they're trying to defend him.
I think it's Jones was his last name.
I don't know.
We gotta forget idiots
pervert.
like that. Yeah,
we can just say the pervert. The pervert from Alabama trying to run for office.
I'm not gonna go look at somebody's little 14-year-old daughter. That's just nasty.
Yeah,
criminal.
Yeah.
And not criminal as far as law is concerned, but criminal spiritually.
And you know what? For anybody who wants to try and defend, well, supposedly Mary was only 14 years old and Joseph was in his 30s. Man, people weren't living typically to their 80s and 90s back then.
Yeah. No,
like we said, tradition changes, things change.
You know what I mean? and listen, there's issues with younger women and older women. But man. I'm telling you, man. I don't know if I'm just around a population of bitter old women or what.
That might be the possibility.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And the things that they do is the things they're talking trash about the younger people doing. Not seeing that, it's okay. Like, I know this one woman, my age, was married, wasn't happy. Instead of divorcing, spending some time trying to figure out self, while married, looking for somebody else.
Because there can't be that time in between of loneliness.
Find somebody else. Boom, 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 bang, boom. Moving, got married. No, this one is like, I can't stand him. Of course, and then you look at a younger person who do it and say, what's wrong with them? What's wrong with them? That's where they learn that stuff. If you don't believe me, look at your kids and see what kind of vibe they getting on with. You don't have to tell them to do it. They see you doing it. That's what they know. And if they're not like me, who go, whoa, my dad is an idiot. I don't want to be like that.
Yeah.
They're going to be like you. And then you're like, society, TV, blah, blah, blah. No, you don't have to tell kids what to do and what not to do. They just look at you and see what you're doing and figure that's okay.
We had a former player several years ago who was trying to get me to start study hall even later because it was free pancake day at IHOP. I'm like, look, we're already going to be starting late because practice ran long. And I kept telling her, no, not going to do this. And then she gave me this little puppy dog look, and she goes, you can't say no to this face. And I said, well, actually, yeah, I can very easily. No. She goes, well, my daddy can't. And I said, well, I'm not your dad. And it also sounds to me like your dad probably should have learned how to say no.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, and again, that's where they learn it from. You give them everything they want, and then you sit there and go, man, why are they such a spoiled brat? Because you gave them everything they wanted. And the thing about
it, too, it also works on the flip side. When you don't give them everything, then they turn around and give their kids everything.
Well, and I think that's why a lot of boomers really ended up doing that for their kids, because maybe they grew up maybe not as well-to-do or something like that, and so they couldn't get everything they wanted, so they watched a lot of their friends get everything they wanted, and now that they're at the point that financially they feel like they can do that, they just keep, here you go, here you go, here you go. Oh, is that about to be a tear? Here you go, here you go, here you go, here you go, here you go.
But you see,
and then later on they go, especially from a sports side, because that's what I deal with. Then they go, why does the coach seem to have so many problems with my kid? Why does my kid seem like such a spoiled brat? Because you gave them every single stinking thing that they wanted. When they came and cried to you, Daddy, I'm not getting the playing time that I think that I should have on my club team. Okay, that's fine. I'll become a coach and I'll coach you. Yeah. You'll get all the playing time you want. Then you go to college and it's like, why isn't my kid getting playing time? Because they're not that damn good.
Yeah. They're just good in your eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's the thing.
Because you gave them everything they wanted, and their coach isn't going to give them everything they want.
And on the flip side of that, like materially speaking, those that didn't get all that they want when they were younger wasn't accepted into society as they should, so they overcompensate by doing it with their kids. There's a woman that she wrote a blog, and I don't remember her name, I just skimmed through it, but she said that in small towns, she noticed growing up in other generations, if you don't have a certain last name, you don't get treated nicely.
Yeah. When I was a kid going through, I don't remember what this stands for, but they were called CCD classes. It was like the Catholic school on Sunday type of thing to lead to your, communion and confirmation and all that stuff. Since I didn't live in the fancy neighborhood where a lot of these kids did, I got made fun of a lot. And, we weren't dirt poor. I wasn't walking in wearing the same thing every day because I didn't have anything else to change into. I thought we were just fine. But yet, since I wasn't from that fancy neighborhood, well, you're just so you just need to shut up. Don't even talk about what you did. We don't care because you're, you live in that neighborhood? Well, I live here. I'm like, all right, so what?
And they get that from?
Mommy and Daddy.
Yeah, and the boomers for a while they had the thing. Well, you can't blame the parents for everything. They took the blame off themselves. I remember when
exactly. When
I was growing up, I heard that a lot. Oh, everybody want to blame the parents, but the parents, the boomers kind of got the blame away from themselves. Well, look at the music they listen to.
There are
look
some
at what their friends are doing.
Yeah.
Those parents aren't that as good as I am.
Yeah. There are some cases where you can specifically go, well, they do have good parents. How did that happen?
Yeah.
I think that's probably few and far between.
It is. Because if you notice, look at the people we know. Even though in college they were looking for these horrible idiots, most of them end up marrying nice guys.
They did, yeah.
I see them on my page every
day.
They
I do too.
actually marry nice guys.
Yeah.
After all of that, so whatever they see their parents did that was right, it stuck.
Took them a little while.
Yeah.
But,
You know what I mean? It didn't completely damage them. like the old ones.
They were damaged for several years, though, I will tell you that.
Yeah.
But,
physically and emotionally.
Oh, my
we
gosh.
better cut this off here.
Yeah, we should.
Go home and take.
Yeah. Well, I got to go to work. Yippee!
I got to go. I have to go record an episode for Friday because I'm kind of lax with that. But anyway, we're going to get out of here. We didn't even say who we were at the beginning.
This is the Rudebuoyz.
Yeah.
Start with that.
Dirty Immigrant.
I'm Scotland.
And remember, don't let that system get you down. You all have a good holiday.
Yes, sir. Thanks for tuning in. Check us out next time.